Okay, so let's just start with taking a couple of nice deep breaths. Nice inhale. And exhale. And again, another nice deep breath. And now as you take this next breath, gently turn your head to one side, nice and slow. And then really way slower than that, Courtney, you should turn your head back to the other side. So coming all the way through center, as slow as you can. And just pay attention to the movement. Is it sticky today? Is it moving nice and smooth? Are you wanting to lift your head a little bit as you turn it? And go ahead and turn it back to the other side again. And really pay attention to what's happening in your neck and shoulders as you're turning your head. Sorry, I have to let my dog out of here now. Good. Okay, and then slowly bringing your head back to center. And then what I want you to do now is curl your arms in towards your body and bring your shoulders towards each other. So you're doing like a little mini crunch in your, no, hands stay on the floor, but just roll your arms into, roll your arms in towards your body so your shoulders are squeezing towards each other. And now super slowly let those roll back out. Nice and slow and smooth. And when your shoulders are back down, take a moment to rest. Hi, Natalka. We're going to be doing head, neck, and shoulders today. So I'm not sure if you're comfy to sit on the floor. We're doing some flattens and tilts first. And then we'll be sitting. So I don't know if you need a chair or if you're comfy to sit on the floor. Okay, everybody, let's do that one more time. So curling your shoulders in towards each other as you roll your arms towards your body. Hold for just a second. And nice, super slow, unrolling the arms and slowly opening in your chest as your shoulders come back down towards the floor. Nice and slow and smooth. Good. And now go ahead and bend your knees and bring your feet to standing if you're laying on the floor. And we're going to start with a flatten, and we're going to do those shoulders at the same time. So when everybody's ready, we're going to inhale first in our relaxed position. And exhale as you flatten your back to the floor, bringing your pubic bone and ribs towards each other. And now rolling your arms in towards your body so your shoulders do this nice little squeeze in the front of your chest. Hold for just a moment. And now super slowly unroll your arms and slowly release in your abdominals. Super slow and smooth. And at the end of that release, you're going to go right into tilt now, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor or into your chair. And now roll your arms open so that your palms are facing up to the ceiling, which will press your shoulder blades gently to the floor. Super slowly now release the contraction in your shoulder blades as you slowly let your arms roll back inwards, slowly releasing in your back. And then you're going to go right into flatten again at the end of that release, bringing your pubic bone and ribs towards each other, rolling your arms inwards towards your body, holding for just a moment, and now super slowly, with control, releasing in your shoulders, super slowly releasing in your abdominals, slow and smooth. And at the end of the release, going right into tilt again, rolling your tailbone forward and down, arching your low back gently, turning your arms out to palms facing up to the ceiling, shoulder blades pressed gently to the floor. Slowly begin to release that now, slowly releasing in the shoulder blades, slowly letting your arms roll back, slowly releasing the tilt in your back, and going into flatten one more time, bringing your pubic bone and ribs towards each other, flattening your back to the floor as you roll your arms towards your body, squeezing in your chest gently. Hold for a moment, super slowly releasing the chest, slowly releasing the abdominals, as slow and smooth as you can. And when you've come back to your neutral position, take a moment to rest. Good, and now we're gonna super slowly come up to our sitting position. So you're gonna roll to your side, come up to sitting nice and slowly. And we're going to start with the left leg in front of the body and the right leg behind the body. Oops. So your left foot, the sole of your foot, because you're going to bend that front leg, and the sole of your left foot will be against your thigh of your right leg. So hang on, I'm going to show you guys the picture in case you're not sure. Like this. So left leg is in front, sole of the foot against your right thigh, and your right knee and right foot are like to the side and behind you. And if you are sitting in a chair, if you can comfortably just move your right leg sort of to a little bit behind the other foot, just a little bit, it doesn't have to be a lot. And then you're going to place your left hand on the floor beside you. And if you're in a chair, you're going to place your left hand on the chair beside you. So you'll just be resting into that hand just a little bit. Perfect. And now your right hand is going to come up to your shoulder. So right hand will be coming up to your left shoulder. Sorry, left shoulder. Yeah. Perfect. All right, so we're going to start with a torso turn. So we're going to inhale and turn all together. So when you're ready, inhale, and you're going to be turning your torso to the left. And you're going to turn your torso, your head, and your eyes. Nice and smooth. Turning fairly slowly. And when you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, I want you to mark how far you've gone by looking at something with your eyes. And now nice and slow with control, bring your torso, your head, and your eyes back to the front. And then rest for just a moment. And we'll repeat that one again. So turning your head, your torso, and your eyes to the left. And as you're turning, you're going to notice that your right hip lifts off the floor. Remember to stay in your comfort zone. And when you've gone as far as you can go to the back this time, you're going to keep your torso to the back, and now you're going to turn your head and your eyes to the front. So torso stays back, head and eyes begin to turn to the front. Nice and slow and smooth. And once your head and eyes are to the front, you're going to slowly switch these now. So your head and eyes are going to be slowly turning to the back as your torso slowly begins to turn to the front. So torso coming forward, head and eyes turning back. And when you've gone as far as you can go, pause for just a moment, and then we're going to reverse again. So slowly now bringing your head and eyes to the front as your torso slowly begins to turn to the back. Nice. And when you've gone as far as you can go that way, pause. And we're going to switch it again. So nice and slow now, bringing your torso to the front and slowly taking your head and your eyes to the back. And when you've gone as far as you can go, switching one more time. Torso turning to the back now, head and eyes turning to the front. And when your head and eyes are to the front and your torso is now to the back, pause for just a moment. And now keeping your torso to the back, take your head and eyes slowly to the back again. Nice and slow, head and eyes rematched with the torso. And when you've gotten to the back, pause for just a moment. And now you're going to keep your torso and your head to the back and slowly bring just your eyes to the front. And then nice and slow, we're going to reverse that. So now your eyes will be going slowly to the back as your head and torso turn to the front. So head and torso turning front, eyes going back. And then pause. And we'll slowly switch that again. You guys are doing really good. I know this is super hard. Super slowly now, turning your torso and head to the back and slowly bringing your eyes to the front. Head and torso going back and eyes slowly coming to the front. And then pause. We're going to do it one more time. So now nice and slowly again, head and torso coming to the front, eyes slowly going to the back. And then pause. And now you're going to take your head and your torso to the back to match with your eyes again. So head and torso going to the back. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, pause for just a second. And then nice and slow, bring your head, torso, and eyes to the front. Head, torso, and eyes, nice and slow and smooth, coming to the front. Good, and then pause for a moment. And now nice and slow, bringing your arm down, your right arm that's up to your shoulder. Go ahead and bring that one down. And now you're going to turn your head slightly to the right. And then you're going to tilt your head back a little bit. And now, are you guys able to lift that left shoulder up towards the back of your head without feeling uncomfortable? Good. Hold for just a second. And now super slowly, you're going to untilt your head and slowly lower the shoulder. Super, super slow and smooth. Lowering the shoulder, untilting the head, and rest. And then we're going to repeat that again. So you're turning your head slightly to the right. You're going to tilt your head back and lift your left shoulder up towards the back of your head. Yep, so now tilt the head back, Lift your shoulder up towards the back of your head. You guys should feel that right in the crook of your neck. That's called the upper trapezius there. So now super slowly release the contraction in the back of your head and slow and smooth, lowering the shoulder back down to the floor. And rest. And then we're going to do it one more time. So your head is turned slightly to the right. Then tilt your head back. And lift the shoulder up towards the back of the head. Hold for just a moment. And super slowly begin to lower the shoulder. And super slowly lowering the tilt in the back of your neck. Nice and slow and smooth. Good, and now you're going to bring that right hand back up to your left shoulder again. And we're going to do a full torso turn again. So turning your torso, your head, and your eyes, turning to the left, nice and smooth. Keeping everything moving together. And when you've gone as far as you can go, hold for a moment. And now nice and slow, turning everything back to the front again. Torso, head, and eyes. Moving together. And when you get to the front, pause for a moment. And then repeat again, turning torso, head, and eyes. Nice and slow and smooth. And remember that you want to let that right hip lift off the floor a little bit. Don't try to keep it stuck to the ground. If you're comfortable with it stuck to the ground, you can do that. But if it wants to lift, definitely let it lift. And then super slow and smooth, bringing everything back to the front. And pause. And then one more time. Torso, head, and eyes, turning to the back. And when you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, this time you're going to pause and check again with your eyes and notice if you've gone further than you did with the first place that you marked. And when you are at that spot, nice and slow and smooth, turning everything back to the front. Good, and then we're going to be switching sides. So when you're ready, you can go ahead and switch legs. So your right leg will be coming in front of your body as your left leg moves behind. Your right hand will be on the floor or on a chair beside you. And you're going to bring your left arm up to your right shoulder. Good. All together when we're ready, we're going to be turning torso, head, and eyes all together. So nice inhale and begin to turn nice and slow and smooth, turning head, torso, and eyes, turning to the right. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, pause for a moment and find something to mark with your eyes of where you've turned. And then nice and slow and smooth, turning everything back to the front again. And then again, turning head, torso, and eyes to the right. Moving nice and smooth together. And this time when you've gone as far as you can go comfortably to the back, pause for a moment. And now you're going to leave your torso, turn to the back, and begin to bring your eyes and your head to the front. Torso stays to the back, head and eyes turning to the front. When you've turned your head and eyes to the front, you pause for a moment. And now nice and smooth and slow, we're going to reverse. So your head and eyes will be turning to the back, and now your torso will begin to turn to the front. Nice and slow, torso turning forward, head and eyes turning to the back. When you've gone as far as you can go, reverse the movement again, super slowly now, bringing head and eyes to the front as you slowly take your torso to the back. Head and eyes turning to the front. torso turning to the back. And when you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, reversing again. Super slowly, taking your head and your eyes now to the back, turning head and eyes to the right as your torso begins to turn forward. And then switching again, taking your torso now to the back as your head and eyes begin to turn to the front. And take just a moment to pause at the end of that movement. And now keeping your torso to the back, nice and slow, take your head and your eyes back to match. So head and eyes turning to the back. And when you've taken your head and eyes to the back, pause for a moment. And now you're going to leave your head and your torso to the back as you bring your eyes to the front. Slowly bringing your eyes to the front. And then pause. And now we're going to reverse those. So nice and slow now, your eyes will be moving to the back as your head and your torso move to the front. Head and torso moving forward as eyes are gazing back. Pause. And then nice and slow reversing again, taking now your head and your torso to the back as your eyes begin to move to the front. Eyes moving front, head and torso moving back. And pause. And reversing again, bringing now your head and torso to the front as your eyes gaze to the back. And pause again. And now take your head and torso to the back to match the eyes. So your eyes are going to stay to the back now as you take your head and torso to the back. When you've gone as far as you can go, pause for a moment and then bring everything to the front. Head, eyes, and torso, nice and slow, with control, bringing everything forward. And then nice and slow, bringing your arm back down to somewhere comfortable beside you. And now you're going to be turning your head just gently to the left, tilting your head back, and lifting your right shoulder up now towards the back of your head. Hold for a moment, super slowly now lowering the shoulder and untilting your head at the same time, nice and smooth and slow. And then rest. And again, tilting the head back, lifting the right shoulder up towards the back of your head. Hold for a moment. Super slow and smooth. Release now, slowly lowering your shoulder. Slowly lowering the tilt in the back of your neck. And rest. And for those of you sitting on the floor, give this a try. If you're able to, bring that right arm up and rest it on your knee or on your leg somewhere in front of you, if you can do that comfortably. And try that one more time now. So tilting your head back again and lifting your right shoulder up towards the back of your head. Hold, and now super slowly lowering, slowly releasing in your neck, slowly lowering the shoulder and the head. Letting that shoulder come back down, nice and slow and smooth. And then rest. And then go ahead and place that right hand back on the floor beside you again. And bringing the left arm back up to the shoulder as we do the full torso turn again. So turning, Natalka, if you're uncomfortable, you go ahead and get comfy. You switch if you need to. Okay. So turning your head, your torso, and your eyes, turning to the right. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, pausing for just a moment, and nice and slow and smooth, turning everything back to the front again. And then turning one more time, head, torso, and eyes, turning to the right, always staying in your comfort zone. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, pausing, and then slowly, with control, turning to the front again. And then one more time. And when you get to the back this time, as far as you can go comfortably, gazing with your eyes to see if you've gone any further than you did when you checked the first time on this side. And also bring your awareness to how much more freely you are moving as you do this turn. Super slow and smooth. Coming back to the front. Good. And once you've gotten everything back to the front and you've rested for a moment, we're going to go back down to the floor. So you can lay on your back, or you can do these sitting in your chair still. And we're going to be doing some arch and curl to finish today. So with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, and then go ahead and bring either your hands up to behind your head or your fingertips behind your ears. If you're sitting in a chair, Auntie Lynn, I think you should maybe do yours. Let me put me on the video for a second. Auntie Linda, try yours like this. Because you're sitting, I feel like if you put them up here, you're holding too much tension. Can you hold them there? Or if not, can you just rest them? I would just keep them rested then. Because if you bring them up like this when you're sitting up, you're really doing a lot of extra contracting. So it's up to you. Just make sure you stay comfy. All right, everybody, we're going to start with our inhale and arch. So when we're ready, inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor. At the same time, press your shoulder blades down and think of drawing them towards your tailbone. Tilt your head back and hold for just a moment. And now exhale as you slowly release the contraction in your back, slowly releasing in the back of your neck. And at the end of that release, going right into flatten, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other. Bring your elbows together and gently lift your head and chest into that curled position. Hold for a moment. And now as you super slowly are lowering that head, really focus on your abdominals and how much control you have as you slowly lower. Nice and slow. And once your head is resting comfortably, opening the elbows nice and slow. And we'll repeat that one again when you're ready. Starting with an inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor, pressing your shoulder blades down, drawing them towards your tailbone. Tilt your head back, and this time let your jaw open softly. Hold for just a moment. Exhale, super slowly releasing that contraction in your back, slowly releasing in your neck. At the end of that release, going right into flatten, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other. Bring your elbows together. Gently lift your head and chest into your soft curl position. Hold for a moment. Super slowly now bringing your head back down. Nice and slow and smooth. Once your head is resting comfortably on the floor, slowly lowering your elbows. And when your elbows are back down to the floor, make sure to take a moment to rest. And we'll repeat that one again. Inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor, pressing your shoulder blades, drawing them towards your tailbone, tilting your head back, letting your jaw open softly. Exhale now as you super slowly release the contraction in your back, slowly releasing in your neck, slowly releasing in your shoulders. And at the end of that release, going right into flatten again, bringing your pubic bone towards your ribs, ribs to pubic bone, elbows together, lifting your head and chest. Hold for a moment, and super slowly now lowering your head back down to the floor, slow and smooth as you can. Once your head is resting on the floor, slowly letting your elbows open. And taking just a moment to rest. And now go ahead and bring your arms back down beside your body to a resting, comfortable position. And we're just going to do a couple more neck releases before we finish today. So for this one, I would like you to tilt your head back so it stays on the floor, tilting your head back, bringing your chin towards the ceiling. Hold for just a moment. And now nice and slow, release that contraction in the back of your neck as you slowly let your head come back to neutral. And then take just a moment to rest. And the next movement will be lifting your face straight to the ceiling. Remember to not lift your head very high. It only needs to just barely come off the floor. So face up to the ceiling, hold for just a moment, super slowly lowering your head back down to the floor now. And take a moment to rest. And then tilting your head back again. So head goes back, chin towards ceiling. Remember not to go too far. It just needs to be a little tiny tilt. And then super slow and smooth, releasing that tilt. Good, and then take a moment to rest. Now for the next one with face up, Auntie Linda, because you're sitting, instead of your face, I want you to think of taking your face straight forward towards your computer or whatever you're looking at. Everybody else, your face is going to go to the ceiling. So go ahead and lift, face to ceiling, or if you're Auntie Linda, face to screen. So it's like sticking your head forward. And then super slowly bringing it back to neutral. Nice and slow and smooth. Good, and take a moment to rest. Now go ahead and lengthen your legs if that's how they were when we started today. And we're going to take a nice deep breath. And now nice and slow, go ahead and turn your head to one side. Nice and slow and smooth, rolling your head. Still taking those nice deep breaths. And then go ahead and nice and slow and smooth, roll your head to the other side. And bring your awareness to your head, your neck, and your shoulders. And just notice, are you able to do this movement smoother now? And then go ahead and roll it back to the other side. And then go ahead nice and slow, bringing your head back to center. And now you're going to roll your arms in towards your body again, like we did at the beginning of class today. So rolling your arms in towards your body as your shoulders gently squeeze in front, holding for a moment, and now super slow and smooth. Release those shoulders. Super slow, unrolling your arms, releasing in the shoulders, the chest, and rest. And then when you're ready, nice and slow, you're going to roll to your side and come up to sitting. And we have about 3.5 minutes for some questions. I'm going to unmute everybody. Or some feedback. Look, Chantel joined us from California. Hi, Chantel. That's my California kid. She is also a somatic educator, everybody. So if you're ever in California and you need to do some somatics, she also teaches like really cool aquatic stuff too. She's like a little fish. Okay, hang on. Chantel, you're muted still because you must have muted yourself. And Natalka, you're still muted too. So did anybody notice a significant change from the shoulders rolling at the beginning of class to the end of class today?
I noticed that that to the right, there was a big difference. To the left, there was hardly any.
There was hardly any?
To the left, yeah. And I don't know why. The right, there was a big change, but I did notice that my hip wasn't coming up on when I was turning to the left.
Oh, that could be. Well, you could do those ones a couple more times today, Auntie. If you're still feeling good and you want to do them a couple more times, you certainly could. What about you, Courtney? I noticed that you were having trouble slowing down at the beginning. She just finished a workout today before she started this class. So when I said roll your head slowly, you were like, phew, phew. It's like, that wasn't very slow, Courtney. But at the end, it was nice and slow again. So it seems like you were able to take it down a couple notches.
What can I say? Yeah, then it goes all crazy.
Yeah. Do you feel more relaxed now at the end?
I do. Yeah, my shoulder's been pretty bad lately, so that's. But
were those movements okay for your shoulder?
Yeah, well, probably more just like having it up and stuff, but it's.
Yeah. I've never done that trapezius with release with people sitting in that position still. That might have been sitting in that position a little too long. I just thought we would give it a try, but I know when I like to do the trapezius one, I like to have my elbows resting on something so that as my shoulder comes down, it doesn't have so far to go back down to a relaxed position. So if you guys want to try that one on your own, you definitely don't have to be sitting in that position. You can just be sitting in a chair. It's just turning and bringing the shoulder to the back of the head and then slowly releasing. And you guys will love that one. I know we did it last week too, so try to remember it. It's a great one for if you've been typing, you're on the computer, driving. Were you going to say something, Chantel?
Yeah, I have a thought for Auntie Linda.
Okay, go quick because it's going to cut us off.
Okay, well, she mentioned having one issue with the shoulder, not the other, but you mentioned also your hip not being able to lift on one side than the other. And your hips and your shoulders are very connected, so you might want to focus on doing some releases for hip rotation, and that could help balance out your pelvis and therefore balance out your shoulders a little bit more.
So remember that one we did yesterday, Aunt? Oh, you weren't there yesterday, but you know when we lift the shoulder, lift your hip up in the hip hiking, we've done it a couple different ways. You can do it sitting too. Just lift your hip up gently towards your armpit. So you kind of slide your weight to the opposite butt cheek and then just super slowly let that hip come back down. Great suggestion. Thanks, Chantel.